Here. Never late, just right on time, right?
Always on time. Being a little bit late is okay, because as long as you show up, every time you say you're going to show up, what you're doing is cultivating that confidence, building up that resilience, and giving yourself a mindset makeover. You are joining myself and Camille from the Mom Link. We are here for the Women Let's Talk About It corner. We have candid conversations, real, raw conversations about entrepreneurship, the life of a female entrepreneur. And here today, we want to talk about mindset makeover and how to truly cultivate that confidence that you want to have in your business and how to build up that resiliency. And let's be honest, you need to build up resiliency because entrepreneurship is a roller coaster ride. You go up, you go down. And when you are going down, you need to know how to build up that resiliency so you have enough energy or enough gas to get you back up the next mountain you're about to climb. So, Camille, I know this is a conversation we've been having lately. And, I think it really hit me the other day. This time of year, November, December, the holidays, I think it's the time where brick and mortars, people who have products, people who have physical business places, are really thriving. Like this is their time. People are shopping, people are buying, it's the holiday season. And I think this is the season for entrepreneurs that there's a little bit of a pause. There's a little bit of that lull where you are reflecting, you are taking a pause in your business, you're thinking about 2024. And so I just think this is a unique season for entrepreneurs where you really do need to cultivate that resiliency in this season when your business might not be at its highest point because it's not the season for all entrepreneurs right now. So, Camille, what do you think? Like, is this the season for entrepreneurship where things start to get a little bit rough? There's a little bit of a lull. This is where entrepreneurs are, in that pause, in that break, reflecting, pivoting, thinking about 2024. What are your thoughts?
I have a little bit of a different thought on that because I feel like as if when it comes to our business, depending on how we have perceived it or what we're doing in our actions, there really such thing? Yes, there is obviously a numbers high and lows, but when I'm thinking about my business and keeping it going, even on these high times and low times, I don't want to think about those times because that's where my mindset will go. And what I mean by that is, yes, it is a great time because the holidays are coming up, so we automatically assume this is the time where people are going to splurge, they're going to spend. This is the time where even though they're going to spend, they're also looking for deals. So we could throw in some extras. And then that goes on a high, and then the new year comes as a low. And then our minds that goes, oh gosh, this is our low season. So you know what? I'm going to go into these funks or what have you. So for myself, what I've been doing, and I'm not saying that I did this out the gate, and I'm not even saying I did this last year to its entirety. I'm still a work in progress. But what I'm doing this year, when it comes to these highs and lows of the seasons, is I am ensuring that my confidence is so high that it is resilient in every season. And I say resilient even when we are high, because when we're riding that high and we're only looking at the highs, not even anticipating that there is going to be a low, or if you are anticipating it, but you're already putting your mindset that it's going to be, uh, hit like this. I used to say this to my husband because we also have a brick and mortar here in Canada. And yes, after the New Year's, everybody stops, we feel, I take that back. We feel that people stop buying. So then we automatically start becoming less productive. We automatically start pivoting into different ways where we didn't even have to do that. But it's because we already set ourselves up to assume that we started acting that way. But now, and my husband always says it too. He's like, even right now, I'll tell you this. He comes home every day. This is his new thing, Crystal. Every day he's like, the media keeps on talking about this recession. People's homes are foreclosing. The mortgages, they can't get mortgages. The groceries are all up here. He's like, but I do about 5 deliveries a day with appliances to high-end people, and all of them are buying investment properties. They're redoing their homes. They're doing all these things that media is telling us that is we're going through these kind of like downturns, and it's changing people's mindsets. So what he says is, and he sticks by it. Don't look at it as much as the highs and lows, and look at it as much as the confidence that you bring to your business that in turn makes you resilient so much that you understand that when there's a downtime, it's not a downtime in your business. It means that you just need to pivot into the time so that you could still be productive and not feel like as if that you're, that you're not having lack of. Does that make sense? Am I talking too much? But this is what I really feel when I'm trying to, I'm getting out of those ideas of highs and lows because it does change my mindset. More so, let's see how we can adjust and readjust so we could still stay productive and active and present and not even just motivated, disciplined to go through that next wave of high.
You know what? You said it spot on. And you know, when I talked about like the pause, I think those lows and highs of entrepreneurship or whatever business that you're in, I think in order to survive them is maintaining that confidence, maintaining and building upon that resilience. And it's through actually, you know, when they say about entrepreneurship, it's about enjoying the journey. It's not
Mhm.
about your end destination. Because I think in entrepreneurship, you're never going to get to an end destination, right? You're always going to be looking at ways to build, ways to
You
scale,
should
ways
be,
to
you better
pivot,
be.
ways to add more
Yeah.
streams of income. Like you're constantly, as an entrepreneur, you're a creative. You're never going to reach the end journey of creation, right? That's why you're an entrepreneur. I think
Is
it's in those moments where it feels like the low. I think what needs to happen, and this is what you touched upon, it's that shift in the mindset. It's that mindset makeover of understanding that you're in the journey, in that journey that you're in is actually the moment that you're supposed to pause, reflect, not make rash decisions. It's your time. It's the entrepreneurial's time where you actually get to pause everything and make better decisions, make
that part.
quantitative, qualitative decisions and where you're headed in that direction. And if we stop feeling like it's a low moment and we actually embrace it, like, I love this time of year because I get to pause, reflect,
Exactly.
and make informed decisions to move forward in my business, then what you're doing is you're building up that confidence because you know this is not a downtime. This is actually one of the times you look forward to because you can stop sprinting for a second and you can just actually take a slow walk.
And take that slow walk. And you know what? Sorry, I was just looking over to the side here because I had to go and put a live on my Instagram because this conversation, Crystal, is so needed, especially in these times right now in a business cycle, in our personal lives, that I had to say, hold on, let me pause for 1 second and let's channel on to another audience that needs to hear this, that it may be feeling this too as well. Like going into these seasons. So I'm just going to do a little recap to everybody here on Instagram. Hey, all. Hey, myself and Crystal from the Mom Link community. We're having a conversation all about building up confidence and resilience through business and in life, and really through these holiday seasons. And so many times when we're thinking about our business during these holiday seasons, we may be thinking of the end of Q4, where we're going to go hard, 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 because this is the last little bit of the last rodeo before the new year. Others may be saying this is the time where I'm the most productive because I have a product and a lot of people are spending because it is the holidays. So they're getting themselves all excited. But in the same sense, they're also putting in their head at the beginning of the year, that's going to be my lag time. Oh, is this the time I should be pivoting? Or are we even thinking about being productive even in the next side of this of the start of the year? And what Chris and I have really discussed and really realized is there's power in the pause. There's power in knowing that our mindset has to stay aligned even in the highs and in the lows. Because when we keep our mindset as there is no such, yes, there is on in the sense of numbers, the highs and lows. I lost Crystal. I don't know where she is here, but I'll still talk with the high. Even though in business we know there's charts. You have your highs and you have your lows. There is a business cycle. Yes, we get it. But what Crystal and I are talking about is the confidence that you need to build within yourself and in your business and in your passion to know and understand that when we call it seasons, it doesn't necessarily mean that we completely pivot. It doesn't necessarily mean that we are failures, or even when we are in the high, it doesn't necessarily mean that we've hit the top of success because this too shall pass. And what are we doing to align and set up our mindset with what we need to do in the terms of action and productivity? So, one thing that Crystal said, which was huge, was the power of the pause. Now, we hear about it a lot when it comes to our mindset to recap and regroup. And, we even tell our children, so many times I tell my kids, when they talk, "Mommy, mommy, mommy," I say, stop, breathe, breathe. We do these breathing exercises. Yes, that is great and all. But we also have to align our mission, our clarity, and get that better that understanding that when there is that downturn, there is no real downturn in business. It's just that pause. This is maybe the time where you were so busy building up towards in this high profitable season that some of your marketing may have been delayed, some of your copy may be delayed. But during these low seasons, what Crystal said, those power of the pause times is a time where you can actually recap and reflect. So what I do, Crystal, with a lot of my clients in the wellness field is I call this Winning Wednesday, and every Winning Wednesday we go through our wins. They're not losses, our lessons, as well as we go through any suggestions and how we could better develop. Every Winning Wednesdays, and it's more of a reflection and a more of a way for us to celebrate our wins and during our highs and our lows and see where we need to pivot, or not even completely pivot, but where we need to adjust and readjust. Because so many times our mindset, right, Crystal, our mindset can really play games on us when we are riding that high wave. And then when that wave does go down, as we see, ebb and flow, the flow of it will go down. It's in that it's God's will. It's what happens with us. It's not that for us to just stop and become stagnant. It still flows up, but it comes right back in and gets that next high. But what are we doing? What pebbles? What gems? What are those rocks that you got me collecting? What are those rocks that you got me collecting?
What beach glass?
What beach glass are you pulling back in for that next wave and that next high? It's about aligning yourself up. So I had to just give a little recap of what we were talking about here on LinkedIn here on my Instagram, because this is a fire conversation. I'm going to pass it back over to Crystal, but thank you, Crystal, for reminding me about that pause, even in those moments. It's because it's a great way for us to, wins, lessons, suggestions. Let's go get that glass stuff that made me pick up on the beach the other day.
Well, and you know what? What if we actually rewired our brains to actually look forward to the pause? What if we rewired our brains instead of being so excited and anticipating the highs? What if we started anticipating the moments, and I don't want to call them lows, but I want to call them the moments of that pause, right? Because in that moment of pause, what I've realized, MomLink has done some incredible things this
It
last
really
year.
has.
Small things, large things. We've invested in a system. We brought it into our membership program. We've got some really incredible things that happened in 2023.
Yeah.
I didn't celebrate a single damn thing. I didn't celebrate nothing. I didn't take a minute to pause, to appreciate, to reflect, to recognize, to celebrate or any of that. And I think in those moments of the pause, that's where you actually just get to celebrate. You actually get to take that time. And, we heard it this morning when we were on Breakfast of Champions. Kareen Mills was talking about, sprinting is great and all, but you can't sprint forever.
Mm.
And so look at entrepreneurship. Instead of looking at those highs and lows and dreading the lows, just understand you can't be on a constant high.
Can't.
Nobody can. The most successful people in the world, their hires are just higher than maybe an entrepreneur who's just starting out. Those highs might be higher, but the lows are even lower. They can be even lower. So there is nobody immune to going through the motions and the highs and lows of entrepreneurship, of building a business. They are inevitable. However, I think we do need to do some work on rewiring our brains where we're actually looking forward to the pause season in your entrepreneurial journey, because when you have that pause is when you can create masterpieces. When you actually have that pause and recognize it, oh, the world is telling me I need to pause because this is when I can create a masterpiece. This is when I have time to reflect and pivot if necessary. I can celebrate the wins, all of those things. So I definitely have been, I'm not going to front here. I'm going to keep it real and say I've been a victim to that. I've been a victim to going through the highs and lows. And I don't think anybody's immune to it. I don't think anybody has all of a sudden, Camille, hearing you say I, used to really get into those lows. It's a constant thing you need to work on to appreciate the low moments of your entrepreneurial journey is something you're always going to have to work on. It's not like all of a sudden the next low moment, the next slow season, you're going to be like, oh yeah, this is amazing. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
You're going to have that initial like knee jerk reaction, like, oh
Yeah,
my gosh, what do we need to do? Pivot.
yeah.
But I think it's just about being aware and reminding yourself, okay, this is the world, this is the energy coming back to me saying you need to take a pause so you can make more informed decisions and not make decisions in the heat of the moment, because those are the worst decisions you can make.
Oh, you hit it on, and I just wanna hit what Cleo just said there. It is, it's understanding that it's a part of the journey. It's part of the stages of change, and most importantly, not beating yourself up during those lows. It is so true. Our inner me could be our biggest enemy because when we ride that high so high, we see it in even in celebrities when they're on their highest, you see them, they're rocking, they're rolling. But when that one hit wonder hits bottom, all of a sudden it's like a train wreck because they don't understand or they did not prepare themselves for that low turn. They didn't prepare themselves. And the ones that did came back with that next best selling song and what have you. And it really does. Like, just so when we talk about, because the conversation at hand is the mindset makeover, this is a mindset makeover. And every time you go through these cycles, it's a makeover. But the way for us to make it over is to have that self-awareness. And what we learn, like Crystal and I are doing the 5 a.m. club. We do it every morning at 5 a.m. on LinkedIn and on Clubhouse. Meet us there because we are building up an even greater muscle together, and it's called discipline. And the one part that I hit today that just really makes me just go woof, and what a great conversation this is how we have to build up our willpower. Willpower is not, we're not born with it. We have to develop it. We have to create it. And the way that we create our willpower is having those downturns and having those high turns, just like how we started this conversation talking about, this is our high season. This is great. Are we getting excited? What we do in our low seasons? It's still a season is a season. All we're going to do is just change the outfit that we're wearing, right? It's not going to change where you are.
You
Just
know,
change the
you know
outfit.
what, Camille? It's crazy because I just thought about it. So in those low seasons, in the slow season where you're actually supposed to be going through a makeover. So you can make it over the next hill. You're going through a
Woo! Say that again.
makeover
Hold on.
to
Say
make
that
it
again.
over the next hill.
Say that again.
No, it's true, right? If we think
No,
about it,
say
in
that
those
whole
low
thing.
seasons, you need to have a mindset makeover so you can make it over the next season you're about to go through.
Mm.
And so I think there's so much in that, because in those, what if in those pause? What if in those moments where the lower season, the slower season in your journey, if you were meant to pause and take a break to reflect, to celebrate, and to absorb more knowledge and more information, that's the season when you get to pull out a new book. That's a season when you get to learn a new skill. That's the
Yeah.
season where you get to invest and invest into something new. That is your season for growth, and you cannot grow without having a pause, because if you are still sprinting, how the hell are you going to absorb anything new coming your way?
Crystal, I need a virtual high five for that one. Let's go for that.
Ready?
Boom. Wait, that wasn't on time. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Okay. We're gonna get that one day. But you know what? I love what you said. You know what? I am now, as of right now, I was today's age that I decided that at the last little bits of every quarter, I'm gonna give myself a mindset makeover in preparation for the next quarter. We're always preparing our next quarter within our business.
Mm.
But we're forgetting about the captain within that business.
Oh,
And
so
the fact
true.
that this captain is going to not just have the business, but going to have a personal life mixed in with a health life, mixed in with that confidence life, mixed in with other people's opinions on what we should have, could have been, and should have been doing. So we have to put all those into check. And it really does come in those power of the pause. And just as Crystal said, she's going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it real with my peeps from the streets too. And this is where the conversation that Crystal and I had yesterday is like, I said, I've never lived on my own because I've been with my husband since I was 19 years old, 19, 20, and I moved right from my mom's house with him. Still like him, still here, woohoo! But I realized I took, and I then right away I had a stepson, so I had a son right out the gate. He's going to be 23 on Monday. Okay, I'm not crying, but yes, so right out the gate, and then I have my own children too that are still young. The youngest is being 6, so I've never taken a trip by myself per se. Business trips, that's different because I'm still seeing people. But this last month, I took a pause. I said to my family and everybody, bye, bye, Felicia. And I not do that, Crystal. I disappeared literally for 4 days. And you know what? I did not do that out of animosity. I did not do that out of anger. I didn't do it out of anything except that Camille, something inside of me, my wellness, my self awareness that I've developed from my journey on my holistic living. There's so much greater than just fitness and nutrition because it was that eureka. The practices I've been doing for myself and with my clients, I thank them because they allow me to still remind me of my journey. So thank you, client. Thank you to all those that work with me. I appreciate that you trust in me. But because when you do that, I took those 4 days and I banged out my websites. I sat down and I looked at the ceiling. I enjoyed the ceiling. I danced around. I was in my birthday suit, and it was the best time. I got that's when I created my whole new empire of We Got This and Because I Have a Voice uh programs. And it was through that pause and through that time of no distraction. And when you said that right now, when you add in, it doesn't have to be 4 days, it could even be for an afternoon. But when you take those times with intention, when you take those intentional times to pause, and even if it's just a where it's not pausing and going with your kids, it's pausing for you. And then you start to see there's a lot more clarity that does come that will come into your personal life and even more so into your business life. Oh yeah, you know what? It gives you time to remember. Like Crystal said, there's so many times where when we hit shit bottom, excuse my French because I know it's yeah, I'm Canadian, so I can say it. When you, when we hit shit bottom, we get so fixated on the bottom that we forget about all the highs that were there as before because it will go ebb and flow. So what we need to do is remember all those 1% little wins that we have built on the willpower, and the willpower is truly built in those time of pause, those time of when all the lights and cameras are not on you. So I love that, Chris. So I love that you brought that up, and I'm going to put that into my own practice, whether I need it or not. It's going to be a makeover with my mind, heart, soul, and health set. Boom. Thank you.
And you know what? I think that's part of crafting out your resiliency as well. Because if you actually, we do a business plan, we do a plan for what's going to happen in 2024. Did you incorporate in there these quarterly low
Mhm.
seasons, these quarterly mindset makeovers that you need to go through the pause? So maybe that is what's going to have to happen in 2024. So if you're an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, make sure when you are planning for 2024, you are actually carving out
Thank you.
3 moments of
Yeah.
pause in your
Needs to be in your business plan.
calendar.
In your business
Yes.
plan. We have our mission, we have our vision, we have our forecasting, we have our avatar, our ideal client, we have our pain points. Why not have a section of pause? What are we going? These are, and it's not that we have to follow it exactly, just like a business plan. It is a blueprint. It is somewhere that it's already setting us up in preparation. And that's what our mindset needs because unfortunately our brain likes easy shit. Sorry, easy stuff. I'm French today. I'm just so French today. Yeah, it likes easy stuff, but if we challenge it, that's how we build up that willpower. That's how we build up those, what we call changing the paradigms and those habits. And that goes in all areas of life. But it really does come with cultivating, just like our topic is, cultivating the confidence in yourself, in what you have to present to this world, so that you can become resilient in the times that this world challenges you and in the times when your expectations are not met, because it will happen. It is going to happen. And it should happen because if it doesn't happen, that means that you're not playing big enough. That means that you're playing it safe. If it scares you and it makes you cry, if it fits on your heart, that's wonderful because now you're aligning your heart with your mindset. And then when you have those greater awarenesses in those times of pause, and even in the time, I also will say the time of pause also, just like Crystal said, needs to be in the high times as well, in every part of it, because it allows us to have a better understanding of how we react and what we can be more productive in. So I'm loving this conversation, Crystal, and it's the best thing about what we do. So we come here every Thursdays on your LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, now on Instagram. Here, I'm doing as much as I can. I try to do it because we're doing this because we want us all to succeed. We want us all to get to the next levels. And we are all human. We don't want you to just look at our content and say, oh, Camille, Crystal, they don't understand. They don't know what they're going through. Look at their content. Everything is perfect. Everything is great. They don't know my struggle. But you know what? Everybody has a different journey and a different experience, but we all got struggle. Let me tell you that. We're all paying for the same $12 for them grapes. I'm just so what I mean by that is we bring this to you every Thursday. Let's talk about a corner where we're going to be talking about real deal conversations, raw. We have guests sometimes that come in, but we want to keep it real with you all so that you know that we are all real. And the way what really brings out our authenticity and our strive to keep going is to see that we're not alone in this thing called journey. Just like what Cleo said, it's part of the stages of change, and most importantly, not beating yourself up, and it's understanding it's a part of the journey. So you see,
You know what, Camille? I just need to say this because this is where we're allowed to be real and raw and honest. And I have to say, if you are watching social media feeds and you're following somebody who's like, want to leave your 9 to 5, want to make a 6-figure salary in 6 months, like if it's just beautiful rose beds and unicorns and rainbows on that feed, and you never see or hear from that woman in business, that man in business, any type of struggle, lows, pause, whatever it is, then it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Do
yeah.
not get sold by that. Connect with the right type of people who are not selling you a dream
Ooh,
or a magic
yes,
pill, but are giving you the reality and the honest of what the journey
please.
of being a successful business owner actually, in fact, looks
But
like.
Krista, let's add another layer to that. Another part of the successful business owner will also realize that even in success, they're going to have tragedies, they're going to have failures, they're going to have pain. So if you're seeing someone who says, I have been successful for 15 years straight, we haven't had a downturn, I could guarantee the same for you, run. Because I haven't
Run,
run,
sprint.
sprint. You know, Usain Bolt it. Run. Because that's not true. That's false. And if it is true, it is Disney. It is a fairy tale. And I love the people that say, yes, I make 6 figures, I make 7 figures. But 2 years ago, I lost 5 figures, but I got back up. I built up that right there, that resilience, that grit, that showing that things happen is what really gets me going because I know it's going to happen. I don't want to. We had 3 years, especially us here in Canada. We were locked up for 2.5 years. So we had that many years of being sold fluff and Care Bears and lollipops and unicorns. I'm tired of that now. I want to see the real deal because this is real life. And if we are trying to build back humanity from all that this world has brought to us with all of this false beliefs, we need to know that we're going to have to manage our mindset because so that we could be better productive to build back up our confidence because whenever we have the courage to stand up, especially after a failure, especially after you're on that high and everyone goes, oh, look what happened to Camille, blah, 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 blah. If I can't prevail over that and I don't have a mentor or a group of women that can't relate to that and tell me to get off my ass and keep going, then I'm not in the right community and I'm not in the right space. And that's wellness too. Your wellness also is your environment.
So, Camille, you just took it in the other direction. So, we talked about how to be resilient in the low seasons of entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
And the other, like, second part to this in this mindset makeover is how do you cultivate your confidence?
Mm,
And really, we just touched upon one of the pain points. My tip to any entrepreneur who's listening in right now, one of those confidence builders is stop, like literally go and mute, go
mm,
unfollow, go silence all of these perfect Pinterest
mm.
perfect situations that are making you try to achieve something that is not actually there, that is maybe actually in fact unattainable or not attainable for your current situation. Don't get me wrong, you should be inspired by successful business owners. You should learn from them. You should seek knowledge from them. You should surround yourself by people who are already doing the things you want to be doing. Now, don't get that mixed up with what we see filling up our social
Mm.
media feeds, because that will break down your confidence, right?
100%.
So find more like-minded entrepreneurs in the same journey as you that doesn't make you feel so alone, because that inadvertently is going to actually build up your confidence, because now you're not sucked into this comparison culture of wondering why you'll never achieve status A. But if you actually just swam in a pool with other people who are there with you, throwing life vests and pulling each other along the way, you automatically start to build up your confidence because you realize you have so much to give, you have so much value to put forth, and you're not being undermined by simply looking at others on a pedestal. So I definitely say, in building up your confidence as an entrepreneur, is stop playing the game of comparison culture. And if you catch yourself doing that and constantly, attracted to these social media feeds that look Pinterest
Mm.
perfect, then maybe take a reflection, take a pause to what is it? To
Reflect
clean
and
out,
redirect.
reflect and clean out and get rid of those things that don't make you feel good. If it's an account that makes you want to work harder, if it's an account that inspires you to be more creative, to wake up at 5 a.m., follow those accounts. But if it's an account that just makes you feel like,
Mm.
wow, they're so successful, I need to purchase their program so I can be successful. No, 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 no. That's where I think it's a dangerous slope of actually breaking down your confidence.
Yeah,
So that's one big thing. And then second thing to building your confidence, and I guess this is my biggest tip, is it's what works for everything in life. You want to be good at running, you got to go run. You want to get fit, you got to go to the gym. You want to be a good cook, start practicing cooking, read some cooking books. Like, there's no actual secret formula to anything in life except practice.
that's it.
And I hate to say that, right?
Consistency,
But it is.
practice, consistency. So practice, consistency, repetition builds up discipline. And in between there, if we're saying, okay, we're gonna write this down, we're gonna do it. Yeah, we can do it, but it's a lot harder doing it on your own. And I'm gonna like again, I'm doing the 5 a.m. club. I write everything. Y'all don't even know. I can write a movie about Cam's World. That's what I'm calling it, stapling it. I'm claiming it. But I love that last part when they were talking about the willpower. There's 3 steps to get it easy. I mean, to understand the habit protocol. The first one is to make a habit stick, or anything that we do, even transitions, even pivoting, even building up that confidence. Do it as a group. That's why we have the mom link here. People just look at the mom link and say, "Oh, I'm not a mom," or "Oh, I don't have a business. Oh, this is not for me." It is. It is. It doesn't matter if you're a mom. It doesn't matter if you have a business. It is about a community. It is about finding those nuggets that, or those places that scare you so much, but finding those people that are going to do it with you, hold your hand with you, and guide you and encourage you. The main thing is that encouragement on those times when you can't get up. You know that you're subconsciously, when you're in a group and there's other people there, it's like you want to show up. It's like, oh God, you don't want to be that one, right? So doing that's the first one they say about changing the habit protocol. The number 2 is the teachers learn the most. So every time you show up, every time you pay it forward in what you do, every time you have that and you're sharing it with others, you're building on your own knowledge and on your own strength to build up that confidence, to be resilient. And the third one, what he said was, when you feel like quitting, that's when you keep going. And that's where you build up that grit and that willpower. When he said that, when it was written there today, I was like, it comes right on time. And I'm so grateful that I have a community that brought these opportunities to me to create a lifelong teacher and learner in myself, especially on the times where I feel like giving up. This is what we do here in the Mom Link. And even we extend it even further by having diverse opportunities, such as our system. So if you're somebody who just doesn't really know how to even get started in the online business or any type of business, but we have different options and different opportunities. But if you don't show up, or if you feel like you can do this on your own, then is it happening? Is it working? And even in those times when it's downtime, are you getting back up at the time? Is it taking you long still? Or are you having those short periods of time in between those down times? Because we will have them. So I just wanted to say that is the power of collective doing these talks that we have right now. Risking, it's not even a risk. I think the biggest risk in the world is really doing nothing, keeping playing safe. And then when you're on your deathbed, you think back of all the times when you had your legs to walk, when you had an able mind to be able to be creative, the hands to move. Then you're lying there saying, I wish I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And this is what the mom link in us, we don't want that for any of us. So let's continue to build up on our confidence, be resilient, show up invest in ourselves. Remember, money is just a byproduct that was created by man for us to have opportunities. But if we hoard it, who is getting rich? Our mattress? Who is being not even rich, who's benefiting from that? Right? So invest in yourself and watch how everything else flows. I'm gonna let pass over to Crystal because I can talk.
Invest in yourself. It's so true. And not the financial way.
No,
Don't, not necessarily the financial way. Invest in your growth, invest in your mindset, invest in your, just like the 5 a.m. book club says, invest in your health set, your spirit set, your
heart set, your soul set, your
mindset.
health set, and your mindset.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's important. And the reason why is because you become the best human being possible. And when you become the best human being possible, you are so uber confident. You're
And
confident. It's
yeah, and
incredible.
you can't compare yourself because there's only 1% of you, which is you, right? So your
So
confidence,
true.
there's no comparing yourself. So you're an original. That is a true definition of authentic, being authentic.
You know, I think our next like live conversation needs to be something around like if you are not someone who actively participates in your health set. So if you're not someone who carves out time to either work out or go for walks or drink the water or eat healthy, can you be successful in business?
Let's challenge
Can you
it.
be successful in business if you are the most unhealthy person?
Mm.
If you don't do any physical activity, you don't do any type of like meditation, you don't do anything for your
Personal
wellness, can you
development,
still be
period. Just any
successful?
form of personal development. Let's just say,
Can you
yeah.
be successful in business? I'd say a resounding no, but I mean, let's have that
That's a
conversation in the
great
future.
conversation to have. So, what we're going to be bringing to you on the Women's Let's Talk About It corner is, can you still be successful without having that mindset in check, without having that meditation, that the wellness mixed in with the education, the mentorship? Yeah, I'm gonna, for all the seminars I've went to, the books I read, including the what's his name? It's a cool actor, but his book was so good, surprisingly. Matthew McConaughey's. Oh, Red Light or Green Light. I think it's called Green Light. I thought it was gonna just be a movie theater. So good, but
Oh, I never heard of
oh,
it.
it's
Green light.
so good. I listen to everything on Audible, and it's him that reads it. So it's like I watched the movie. Matthew McConaughey is such an awesome dude. I want to be his friend. But anyways, I got on the side. That's not what I meant to talk about. But even him, Oprah, all of these big names that we know will always give their flowers to the personal development. But let's see if we could find somebody that wants to challenge that, Crystal. That's hot.
Well, I want to know specifically in terms of not mindset, because I think mindset obviously is a given. I think my question is about more of the fitness, the more of the physical side of
Ooh,
things, because we're talking about cultivating
yeah,
confidence and resiliency. And when I know I'm not a gym rat. I'm not somebody I just know when I'm working out and when I carve out time in my life to go to the gym, which is the place that I get physical exercise, that I sweat
yeah.
and I
You
contribute to
exhaust.
my
Yeah.
physical health. I know those are the seasons in life when I'm the most confident, I have the most energy, I'm the most creative
Let's
in
do that.
business. So I'm just interested to
Yeah.
know if can you be successful and have no value for your physical set? Just for like
I'm
the
interested to know
health
that
set.
too, because I'm gonna call bluff on that too. I'm gonna call bluff on that, and I'm gonna put it out there first. I want someone to challenge that, and I'm gonna say no. And the reason why
You can't be successful
I'm
if you're
gonna
not taking care of your
no,
health or
because you
your
know what? That's
physical.
what's the one that there's four sets. One is the health set, and it's people get it obscure thinking that working out and stuff is all about the six pack and that aesthetics work. When in actuality, it really does contribute to your mindset. It really does contribute to your tenacity. It does even Oprah. Oprah, that's why it was. She always had her up and down, and every time she was at her up, she was mentally down. She was going through her roller coasters, all these things. Look at how many people, when they binge eat, it's attached to an emotion and they end up procrastinating or something negative. So I'm going to call bluff on that. And I'm not even calling bluff on that because I am a wellness designer. I'm calling bluff on that because I've done the education behind it. I've done the science behind it and I'm living it. And I'm seeing so many other people because of what I do going through this journey and how much they're progressing just because they took time for themselves. So I'm going to be the person. I want someone to challenge me. Challenge me. Let's go. Let's talk about it. This is the woman's Let's Talk About It corner. I like that one, Crystal, because so many of us forget about that part. And even if we don't forget about that part, That's the first part that we're ready to give up. Why?
It is.
Why is that the
It
first
is.
part that we're ready to give up, even though we know it feels so good as well as helps to our productivity and our energy? Is it because we don't have grit or discipline?
No,
What
I
is
don't
it?
know what
I
it is.
know.
It's the number thing that we drop off, but it's the number one thing that
Yeah,
will give
that's a
you
good
that
question.
confidence.
Let's talk
The
about it.
number one thing we let go of first, but it's the number one thing that actually has a direct correlation with how much confidence you can exude in business and in life and in
Hmm.
general. And just like Camille said, it's so interesting. And that, the 5 a.m. Club book teaches you this. The six pack or, looking
Yeah,
good or fitting in your clothes a little bit better is just the
the squad.
byproduct.
Yeah,
That's not actually the direct benefit you get, right? And I think we're so focused again on the direct byproduct of it that we're not focusing on the
yeah,
actual benefits we get in terms of confidence building, resilience building,
yeah,
energy, all the other things we
yeah.
get from it. Getting that six pack or looking good in your clothes is just an extra added
But you know
benefit to
what,
it.
Crystal? I think they did. It's a strategic plan, just like everything else is on that boob tube, on that propaganda tube. It is a selling. So a lot of big box companies know that they could sell based on what the eyes tell lies. But when you truly understand exactly what you said, that wellness, being active, isn't about the six pack. That is the byproduct. That's the icing on the cake, but it's how it makes you feel, the productivity, the energy. For myself, as I tell everybody, I came into this industry this as a wellness designer, certified, of course, yes. I did that because I was dying on the inside. Because I'm telling you, Crystal, so many times people say to me, "Oh, Camille, you don't know what it feels like to be this weight or that weight." I'm like, absolutely, I don't. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. But I do know what it feels like to not work on my wellness and be dead on the inside. It's like that Benjamin Franklin quote that says, "So many people die at 25 but are buried at 75." So many of us are like that because we died inside, and it really does attribute to how we take care of our wellness. That's why I love in that book, In Between the Billionaires, all he just stops and does push-ups. They're like, "What's he doing?" Right?
Yeah, I
Or
know.
he'll go on his top, and he's like, "Oh, if you don't use it, you lose it." I love that. I do, and it even it reminds me as a wellness designer the how amazing. You know what it does for me, Crystal? For me, and I may get a little bit emotional because I'm a little bit cryy. Okay, but what it does for me, it affirms that what I do truly has a purpose, truly has so much value to it. I feel it, I know it, I live it. But so many times when I talk about wellness, people are like, can I buy a landing page instead? Can I just take the pill? Can I do something they don't really understand the foundation and the essence of it. But going through these journeys here, hearing all these big girls talk about it and seeing it through my clients is really affirming to me what I do is a must. And I'm here ready for everybody to come and join. And I appreciate that too as well, Crystal, for bringing that up because there's so much times you are right. Confidence really does come in how we feel about ourselves. Period. It doesn't come with because I have wicked lashes. Yeah, I'm just loving my lashes right now. I'm just gonna say I'm just saying. Every time I'm talking, the whole time I've been talking, Chris, I don't even look at my.
I'm loving my mom attire
I
here.
gotta love it. Yeah, but again, put the camera down a little bit lower, people. It ain't pretty downstairs here. I got my moo on.
Well, this is a great conversation. Cultivate your confidence, cultivate your resilience. Give yourself a mindset
Mm,
makeover so you can make it over the next season of entrepreneurship because it is a journey. Buckle up, sit back, relax, enjoy the ride.
yes,
And when it's not so enjoyable, just be reminded that is when you're due for a mindset
makeover.
makeover.
Absolutely. Oh,
Camille, good conversation as always. Join us again next Thursday. Women, Let's Talk About It Corner. If you're an entrepreneur, a woman in business, don't do it alone. Do it in community. Find some other dope ass women like myself and
what is it? Huh?
Camille and find yourself some business besties
Mhm.
so you can thrive and go through this roller coaster ride, not alone, but as a collective. Women who get you and women who will be there for you. And that's it. So join us again next Thursday for the Women Let's Talk About It corner, or catch us on any other platform any days of the
We're
week.
here. I just have to say to my Trinity friend, thank you, Miss Lisa, for listening and tuning in. She is an amazing, amazing woman that I have had the opportunity to connect with on LinkedIn, and she's all about menopause and understanding that wellness. And we got to get that also going too as we go in our business. Because sometimes, we're not really, we may not be crazy. We just may be hot.
I'm just, you know what's funny? You said that, and I'm like, I don't see the chat. Now I just opened up the chat thing and I see all these chats. So thank you for everybody who tuned in. If you're catching the replay, catch us again next Thursday. And we'll see you around. Keep on showing up,
Showing up for
being the resilient, confident female
kick action.
entrepreneur, woman in business that you are.
Yes. All right, all.